All we know is that Walton Goggins is kind of the Red Skull with a cooler hat, and he's full of drugs, and he's got guns. That's all I need. Fallout is an exceptional show. Looper, my dear friends here at Looper, gave it a measly 4 out of 10. A shocking review. We need a rebuttal. We gotta come back and add some stars to this review, my friend.
Looper wishes to clarify that we do not endorse, support, or even comprehend some of the viewpoints in this video. Proceed at your own risk.
Yeah, so let me start. I adored this show, right? I think this show is fascinating and brilliant and gory and fun. You've got monsters and robots and zombies and cowboys. A jumble, a Mad Libs jumble of things that I like in movies, right? Who wants to be swallowed by a giant monster with human fingers inside? That was cool. I'd never seen that before. I dug it. While you have a critique in the review that says something along the lines of the characters are two-dimensional. Yes, they are. The review's not wrong. The characters all start as two-dimensional tropes. That is intentionally how the show is designed, to paint absolutes and then have those absolutes hit each other in a way where they cannot survive anymore and see what sticks. The whole show is about characters who have falsely created a small version of themselves, realizing that that cannot exist anymore, and what will they write after that? I think Lucy becomes this wonderful Alice in this horrifying wonderland. Aside from the fact that Lucy's eyes were just bulging out of her head. It kind of becomes this abyss that you can't help but fall into. She is confronted with beheadings, murders. She never loses that sparkle, right? So what was naivete becomes a willing decision to still try to hope for a better future and be a good person as she seeks answers in a better world. Lucy's not becoming another denizen of the wasteland who's just here to destroy and take what they can. Watching Lucy adapt her methodologies, her beliefs, to fit her new reality is a wonderful performance to center this show around. It's really a wonderful, wonderful journey. And Maximus, you could argue, has pretty much as good of a journey as Lucy, right? A child of war and conflict wants to become the war machine so that he can save the world. It is a tad generic. I do agree with the review on that. Subtly, they start bringing in these things that expand Maximus's character, right? He has nice moments with his squire, realizing that his squire has also been crushed into this very limiting role within the military who bullied him. They have some nice moments. Once he meets someone who is worth saving in the world, his ideals now make sense. The best Maximus stuff, which I never would have surmised in the first couple episodes, is when he is pulled out of the power armor. When he is forced to walk around with Lucy naked and exposed in this world, right? These hard truths that he has not confronted himself. And he is watching Lucy willingly choose to try harder and be better. And I think Maximus, by the end of the show, I think that last shot of the show should have been them chanting Knight Maximus.
Your entire life you've been looking for a home. Build one with me.
If you put Walton Goggins on a TV show, that is immediately a higher than a 4 out of 10 show. Walton Goggins makes everything he's in exceptional. A zombie with a cowboy hat is not a base level fascinating or new or interesting idea. Now you put Walton Goggins in that role, now you're cooking, right? Watching him go through the waste world as a kind of caricature villain, right? This cool talking cowboy talk. He's using cowboy lingo when he has no nose and face, like a late stage Michael Jackson. It's very interesting, right? Watching him run around and lay waste to everyone. Making him kook at the start of the show, right? Where he's just a guy taking birthday pictures. He essentially is a birthday clown, right? That makes the ghoul scarier. That was scary to me. Walton Goggins is giving you two characters that by the finale, he perfectly binds into one fully formed life. And the more we start to see that this story is going to unfold and get more complicated as the show continues, it makes that performance even better.
You coming?
In a weird way, all of the characters, you can understand their worldview. You can understand the point of view they are trying to cling to desperately. They all live in very small, absolute, two-dimensional versions of characters that we've seen 100 times. The review is not wrong about that. What is beautiful about the show is when those things are forced to change, right? The Angus Bethune theorem, right, from the movie Angus. If one molecule is strong enough to withstand, can it change the system? That is what the show Fallout becomes. As the ghoul says, there's always a different group that thinks they know how to save the world. This show paints those small mindsets as very flat caricatures that then must grow throughout the run of the show. And I think it does a wonderful job stripping down the lies, stripping down the uniforms, right? Stripping down the capes and the flags and the power armor, and just leaving realistic human survivors, right? Something that it doesn't feel like Fallout's going to achieve early becomes its greatest achievement by the end of season 1.
We are bonded, not just as neighbors, but by a shared duty to keep the candle of civilization lit.
The review states there's nothing new to see here. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say again, the review's not wrong. Let me clue you in on this. There's nothing new to see anywhere. Replication is a part of life. It's a part of art for sure. It's okay to tell a story that we've already seen 100 times if it's well told. How do you think the Lifetime Network still exists? By giving our mom the same quasi-erotic thriller for the 1,000th time, just told how they want it. So is this groundbreaking television? No, but almost nothing is. Is it good? Is it well told? Does it let me think while I'm watching it? Does it show funny, disgusting things? And Fallout does all of that stuff. I don't think the review fully appreciates the craft in giving us specifically tropes that we have seen 1,000 times, and how the show unravels them to at the end leave us something that, while in a kind of gelatinous form, is the lifeblood of a possibly long-running and very good series.
You'll need to move quickly. You can change the future.
So in defense of our review, right? If there is a gripe with the show, maybe we spend a little too much time going back to the 50s. Maybe we need less of that. If you have cool finger monsters and ghouls and Fred Armisen playing hipster radio, maybe keep me there. That was kind of my big complaint, is that I just wanted more Fallout and less Leave It to Beaver at times. But other than that, I think the show rips from start to finish. There is no universe where this show is a 4 out of 10. I also don't think this show's a 93%. I think Rotten Tomatoes might be overvaluing the show a little bit at 93%. I would put this show at a solid 7 out of 10, right? This show is wonderful. And I think if you love the games, or you now go play the games, it will enrich both properties, and it could even go higher for you based on how much you bond with the IP. Fallout exceeds almost every expectation I had for not just a video game show, but a show period. I'm sorry, Looper, I have to say, you got this one wrong. Let's give Fallout its flowers, and let's move on amicably.